next major step for full-scale digital ID just took place. Apple has announced that their iPhone will now have digital ID. What does this mean? The Apple iPhone digital ID is just going to be a digital representation of your US passport. Let me take you through it. So with Apple's iPhone, you would essentially load on your US passport into the Wallet app, and it'll also be accessible on your Apple Watch. This basically allows US passport holders to create digital identity credential based on your passport information. So this is a digital identity credential. It's not yet going to be connected to all that you are, all the info data, your history, your financial transactions yet. This is just a digital credential based on your passport info, but again, it's another major step towards the coming control grid. When users actually do this, iPhone users do this, step one is you're going to scan your passport photo page, and that's also going to read the embedded microchip in your passport. If you didn't know already, there's an embedded microchip in every US passport. The second step is it'll give you a facial scan, so your biometric authentication. It's going to scan your face from different angles. It's going to require you to do different head movements. This is the step of collecting biometric data, giving it to a private company like Apple. Users then can present their digital ID at in-person checkpoints. For example, over 250 US airports. Right now it's only for domestic travel, not international. If you do international, you are required to have your physical passport in hand. So the digital ID on the Apple iPhone, they say it's encrypted and it's just stored on your device. Apple says that they cannot see when or where your ID is being used. Again, that's their claim, but how often do we trust what tech companies tell us about our data and how they protect it or what they can see or not see? This all plays in, again, to Agenda 2030, the digital legal identity. So they are trying to go for identities that are managed, verified, used digitally for access to our own rights and services. Okay, this goes back to what I said. If you step out of line with anything that the current regime in power or the global regime says is out of line, they can shut you down for access to bank accounts and food, things like that. That's where we're going. This Apple digital ID is a major step to eventually fully replace physical IDs with digital. It's going to normalize this digital ID for so many normies who are just going to sign up and do it, right? It's so much easier. Just put your identification onto your phone. So right now, Apple's digital ID remains privatized. It's device specific. It has limited scope for implementation. But again, this aligns in spirit with the broader Agenda 2030 digital ID control grid. These are incremental steps. They're not just going to put the cage around you right away. It's going to be little incremental steps. Get you used to little things piece by piece. And as you take those little baby steps, you get used to the cage being put around you. One more big step towards full-scale digital ID, where all the individual's life history, info, data, their financial records, everything is all connected. It's not there yet, but again, this is another step towards that. These are the questions this raises. Will digital-only IDs become standard and people required to use them? We've seen this. This is what happens, right? We normalize something, it becomes a standard, and then all of a sudden it's forced upon us to that's the only way to do it from now on. Who controls the ecosystem and the infrastructure of this? Right now, it's a private corporation, Apple, but government has talked about doing this, and of course we have the ever-present evil public-private partnership where the public entity, the government, gives permission to a private corporation to store all your data and manage all of this through government contracts, which is most likely what is going to happen. Well, the government will partner with these big entities like Google, Apple, Palantir, you name it, these big AI companies to manage all of our data, connect all the railways together of the infrastructure that's being laid so that your one big massive digital ID, the culmination of one of the pieces of Agenda 2030, is all connected down with your past, your history, your financial records, your schooling records, your health records, everything. Go take a look at some of my other digital ID videos for information about this. The last question, of course, is what legal safeguards will there be to protect against misuse, data breaches, tracking, exclusion, or blocking from services? These kind of issues will come up before there's any kind of legal framework in place. And that's what's happening. This technology is moving so fast, they're pushing these incremental steps so fast that it won't give our legislative process time to catch up for actual legislation that might protect each individual. This is the way that government will actually circumvent the law in order to control us through private corporations and our access to public services and private services. I would say the Apple Digital ID is a digital representation of a state or government issued identification. It's not yet connected fully to the full infrastructure and all the rail lines that they're putting together through these AI databases. So they can't quite shut you out of certain services if you did the digital ID on Apple, but it is coming. Again, major step towards that process as we take these little steps towards this dystopian, totalitarian future.
Right, and That guy broke it down perfectly as to what's going on with Apple. Now, the one thing he's missing is the fact of what's the end all be all. That's what he's missing, is the fact that this is Bible prophecy and it's going to lead to the mark of the beast. Okay, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Right, and what is that mark? The mark is the RFID microchip. Now, how do we know that? When you go into the word mark, it goes into the Greek word charagma, which you go into what that means. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work, right? A graven mark. Okay, and that's what it is when they put that chip inside of you, you're stamping yourself, saying that you are now part of this beast system. And also, it's going to be graven into you. Okay, it's going to be imprinted onto you. It's going to be put in you. Now, when you go into the root word of charagma, it goes into the root word charax, which means a pale or stake, a palisade, right? A stake, by implication, to sharpen to a point. Two, through the idea of scratching. And this is talking about the delivery system, right? The way that they're going to put this inside of you is by the way of that needle. You can see it. This is the microchip, and this is right here. This is that palisade. Right, when you go into what a palisade is, it's going into this, like a wooden stick. That's a palisade. A pail or stake, right? A wooden stake. John was essentially describing this. Okay, the delivery system for the mark. Now, when you go into the root word of charax, it goes into grapho, which means to write with reference to the form of letters. And that's exactly what's going to happen, is in that chip is going to be written all the information about you. Exactly like this guy was going into with the digital ID, how it's going to have your passport and have all your information. Okay, digital ID, where all individual history info data is connected. So you can see how through the Spirit, when you put these things together and you reread that scripture, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So everybody is going to have that option to take it. Okay, it's going to be mandatory. And if you don't take it, you will be plugged out of the system. You won't be able to go to your local convenience store, your local McDonald's to work, because that chip is going to have everything for those things. So this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And that's what we're seeing, is that these visions are not tarrying anymore, right? They're not delaying, they're not waiting. They're coming to pass. And they're coming to pass exactly how they are written, right? They're not lying. Okay, here it is. John wrote this roughly 2,000 years ago, and we're seeing what he wrote today taking place. We'll end it with this, Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Right, so when these things start taking place, they're going to remember, damn, I remember, somebody telling me about this chip. Those Israelites, they were actually on point. They've been talking about this for 40 years, and here it is actually happening. And they're going to realize, damn, that guy was a prophet. And when you read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, this is prophecy showing you how that average person was supposed to look at the prophets. Okay, verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints? Right, so that's what the people are supposed to do. They're supposed to mock and say these people are fools, they're crazy, out there with the Power Ranger suits, loco. Okay, keep saying that. Because eventually those same people are going to be the ones that are raised up. So, as the brother said, no title, just watch. Quick video. Hopefully this was edifying. Without to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushua Ba'ashim, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, Shalom.